أنت في 2004 كنت رئيس تحرير سبكتاتور، وكتبت مقال علقت فيه على اللي صار. هذا الكلام اللي أنت ذكرته في المقال، إن المشجعين المخمورين حاولوا بشكل أعمى اقتحام الملعب، وأن سكان ليفربول يغرقون في حالة الضحية.
Yes, I think of course I take full responsibility for the article. I commissioned the article. I didn't actually write it, but I take responsibility for it. And it contained, sadly, some factual mistakes, for which I apologize and continue to apologize. So Michael Howard was the leader of the party, and he was in prison. So this was the problem. He was my boss politically, but as a journalist, I had no boss. My responsibility was to the readers, and that's it. Howard was very angry because I think that he supported Liverpool Football Club. He came from the Liverpool area. He loved Liverpool. I mean, I love Liverpool, a great place. But, he felt that the article was an appalling attack on Liverpool, or at any rate, whatever he felt, people were angry about it. He wanted to exercise discipline over me. He wanted to show that he was boss. Eventually, I said, okay, you want me to apologize? And I said, I apologize to the people of Liverpool. I went to Liverpool to apologize to Liverpool, this great city, and I did this ludicrous journey of apology. It was to do with the tragic murder of a guy called Ken Bigley, who was an Iraqi hostage in Iraq, and he'd been killed by terrorists in Iraq. It was an absolutely ghastly thing. And he was
after 2003.
Yeah, and he was a Liverpudlian, right? I believe, and that was why people in Liverpool were so grief-stricken. And anyway, so one of the things I had to do was to go to Liverpool Cathedral to write my name in the Book of Condolences for Ken Bigley, for this guy. So sadly, when we got there, we found the Book of Condolences had been stolen. So we weren't
stolen.
We weren't able to. Anyway, it was all a bit farcical. I made matters much worse by writing an article in the Spectator in which I sort of
to apology or to
well, yeah, I apologized. But I basically said, look, I'm apologizing for the mistake we made in the article, but I'm not apologizing for any political embarrassment that Michael Howard has suffered or whatever. I tried to make it clear that I believed that my editorial independence had not been compromised, but it was a total mess. Yes, so it was very important that you see what happened in the wake of the. You have to go back right to the Hillsborough disaster in 1996. And what happened then was that the initial reports after the massacre, after so many people died in the Senate, people were crushed to death. And young people, it was absolutely terrible. They couldn't breathe because of the sheer weight of humanity. And after that happened, there were lots of reports about how the Liverpool fans were drunk and how they had continued to push even though they were told not to go into the stadium. And there were reports about fans looting the bodies of those who had died, robbing them when they were lying on the pitch and so on. Terrible things. And these later turned out not to be true. And so a lot of the media reporting of the disaster was very unfair to the Liverpool fans. And I'm afraid that, there's one newspaper in particular, the Sun newspaper, which took that line. And so the article that I commissioned in the Spectator had a bit too much of that kind of flavor in it. It was just a bit near the original. This is my memory of it anyway. It was a bit kind of near the original libel of the Liverpool fans, and it got the number of victims wrong. And so this was why it caused such pain and such anger. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know the details myself very, very well, and the piece was done by somebody else, and it was on a totally different point. But anyway, the mistake was made, and the offence was caused. And so what I was trying to do was to apologize to Liverpool, to people who had taken offence, for the things that I believe we'd got wrong. But I was trying to explain to spectator readers that I was not apologizing at the behest of Michael Howard.
وهذا اللي خلى مايكل هاورد مش سعيد منك.